Another parlor. Is it Jumbo Month or Parlor Month? Come on, look at these treasures that keep on coming. Now this is a new one to me. This is a Sawtooth ST-MH-AEP, all mahogany parlor with a solid mahogany top. And there you go, another one of those kind of headstocks, a bit like the Samick one, maybe not as bad. Now, I've had the really cheap Sawtooth guitars, and unfortunately Sawtooth has become synonymous with those cheaper guitars, and they're hit and miss. You know, you buy them for anywhere between $65 and $100 on Amazon, and they show up and they usually need tons of setup. Some of them work out okay, some of them have problems, and so I've sort of veered away from buying any more Sawtooths for that reason. But I noticed lately that they're pushing their electric guitars, which some people rave about as being good bang for buck guitars, and then other of their higher end acoustics, and their spectrum goes higher than you would think. This is a solid mahogany top electric parlor. These aren't cheap. These sell for, I think, new for around $400. And they are cut above the other Sawtooths that I've featured on this channel. So we have a solid mahogany top, really pretty sort of chocolate mahogany with the tortoiseshell pickguard offsetting there, herringbone, rosette, really nice fret markers on this, and looks like real pearl. It really does shimmer. I love the way they did those fret markers on a rosewood board. Then you have a black face, or actually it's a dark brown faced headstock, normal keys, and then on this thing you get the laminate mahogany back and sides with a Fishman Precis pickup on. This is not one of the flip ones, so it's a bit more stable. And this is the Precis too. It has that nice phase that phases between the, I think there's a mounted pickup and then a piezo. So you get two distinctly different tones, and then you get bass, treble, volume, and then a onboard tuner wired in as well. That's what the end looks like. So they keep the jack away from the strap button. Of course, you got a 9-volt in here. Sounds great. I played it electronically. Sounds good. Nice black binding with a black heel cap. Very pretty guitar. Again, a little heavy because it's laminate mahogany, but a really nice tone. I need to do a little bit more adjustment on this. I think it needs another quarter turn to put some relief in the neck. It came to me sort of over. The neck was bending the wrong way, chaps, so I had to put a lot of relief in, and it needs a bit more, I think. But I think it's a cut above that Luna Parlor that sells for about $200. It sounds like a much more quality guitar, probably because of the solid mahogany top on this, and it looks like a nicer cut of wood as well, with a smoother satin finish. That other one was a little bit rough. Anyway, it's just slightly better quality, I think, and reflected in the price, because you know these are at least $350, $400, and you probably pick a used one up for $300. So again, you're paying parlor prices. Remember that you cannot pick these things up for the same price as cheap dreadnoughts, concerts, and auditoriums. For some reason, parlors are a little bit more limited, and the pricing is not quite as forgiving. So you know, paying $250 for a parlor is really not that much, whereas you might balk at paying for a let's say a student standard dreadnought at that price, because you can get them at $150, probably the same in pounds as well. But for parlors, you have to tack on another $100, it would seem, because they don't make as many of them, and they don't make as many models, and perhaps with some parlors they don't make them in the with the cheap woods and materials that they do for the entry-level dreadnoughts. So they all tend to be a little nicer wood and finishes. This one, no exception. It really is a handsome guitar. I love the way they cut the bridge. I like the shape of the pick guard. Yeah, and it's a really nice, very smooth satin finish, almost like a hybrid satin gloss finish, semi-gloss. Not quite though. It is satin, but it's not an open pore. It's definitely finished all the way. So there you go, folks. Another parlor, and this is Sawtooth. Their solid mahogany top parlor. I gave you the model number earlier, and I think these are probably made in China. Yeah, designed in the U.S., manufactured in China, which seems to be a standard thing they put in a lot of guitars these days. They want you to know that these companies are American companies. They design guitars here, and then they just have them made over there because it's cheaper to manufacture over there. But there's a lot of good Chinese crafted guitars, and I think this is a pretty decent parlor from playing it so far. With this Fishman system in it, it sounds really good electronically. I really like the fretboard on this. It's really super quality rosewood, and the marquetry or the inlays are very exquisite, very eye-catching. All right, folks, see you on the next one.